All right, peace and love, soul group. It's your boy Focus Guy, back with Fogged Up Perspective, where we view and watch collectively as a soul group a variation of assortment videos from all over the planet, and we just getting started. But today I have to pay and drive a lot of love to the state of Florida and Texas and over in the Bahamas and all of the islands. Everyone that was affected by this storm. And I just want to invite you, those of you in the soul group, those of you who have reached your heart chakra where you can just share love. You know, it's more valuable than any currency, any money, any stuff, any cars. I'm telling you, when you're going through something like that, nothing physical matters. And the only important thing, the most valuable thing that we have here on this planet is the life. So we're going to watch this live updates on Irma together and just send some love to Florida. We're going to do that right after the intro.
Now that's fucked up.
Perspective. All right, let's go over here with me live and see what's going on down here in Florida. Send some love. Send some love.
Miguel Marquez is in nearby Belle Glade for us. Miguel, there are mandatory evacuations, lots of them in the area where you are?
It's the entire area south of the lake, basically, Wolf. And I want to point out this bus here because officials said that 5 p.m., which was about 20 minutes ago, is the cutoff point for evacuations from Belle Glade and this area. That may be the last bus out of town. This is a very rural area, mostly agricultural workers.
Is this Florida?
Immigrant area, a lot of Creole spoken here. They have two problems. One, it is on or near the path of the storm, and the second problem is Lake Okeechobee. They're not entirely sure that levee system, which was built starting in the 1930s, it's been improved in recent years, but there are very weak spots along it, and they are not sure that if the rain and the fury of that storm washing up on that levee, and then the rains above the lake in the...
Man, that's something, ladies and gentlemen, because, you know, just imagine the dam that they're talking about there is a dam that was put in place. It's like a body of water in between the water and the land. And they're actually draining that dam because if this hurricane, if Irma comes through this, you know, certain area and adds, you know, like, say like 20 some inches of rain to the dam that's already filled with water. Just imagine like 12 feet, 12, 13, 14 feet of water in your hood, in your neighborhood. You know, imagine that. One story is 10 feet. So, you know, we'll all be up on the roof. So send some love down here. This is fucked up.
Watershed there. It's a massive, vast watershed that would pour water in that lake for days after it stops coming down out of the sky. If that will eventually stress the lake and those levees out enough that you could then flood this area. So people moving from here, and they're busing them because a lot of people don't even have cars here. They're busing them to about 30, 40 miles away to the far eastern end of Palm Beach County. Wolf?
Awful news indeed. All right, thanks very much, Miguel. We're going to get back to you. Miguel Marquez reporting for us from the scene in Florida. Louis Uccellini is still with us, National Weather Service Director. Right now, the winds are, 155 miles an hour.
Holy
but the latest forecast, that's
on land.
Category 4, but the latest forecast that you're getting, and you're the director of the National Weather Service, is it could make landfall in Florida as a Category 5.
Yeah, so the latest forecast actually ups the wind speed to 160 miles per hour, which is just on the other side of the boundary, 157. So it would be hitting landfall as...
Soul group, those of you who can get into your heart chakra, those of you who can center, who's watching this video live right now, if you can center and get into your heart space, send as much as your love energy to this exact same area. Just look at the map and visualize Florida. If you've ever been to Florida, right? A lot of us been to Florida. Pull it back up in your database, your consciousness, and just flood it with love energy. And let's try collectively. It's not over till it's over, to try to, get that energy to move away from this land up here. Come on, you guys. Those of you who pray, pray. Start praying.
So 5 mile per hour difference. The fact remains that this is a very dangerous storm, and it's going to come in, it's full bore, and it's going to be very destructive when it happens.
Whether it comes in at 155 miles an hour, which technically is a Category 4, or 160 miles an hour, which technically is a Category 5, that really doesn't make much difference.
It doesn't make much difference, but it does also show that this storm is expected to sustain its intensity and increase its intensities as it's approaching the shoreline. This makes these storms even much more dangerous.
Is it possible it could come even more stronger than 160 miles an hour?
Well, as we've said, there are these especially the intensity forecast is one forecast we have the most uncertainty in. We're just, once you get up to this level, you should be just paying attention to it, taking the necessary action to get out of its way.
Yeah, and the shocking thing is there are plenty of people.
And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I just really hope this is one of those times that the news don't know what the fuck they talking about. You know how they sometimes say it's gonna rain on the weekend or it's gonna do this and it just, it doesn't happen. They're always fucking up the weather. I just really hope this is one of those times that this energy coming their way, dilutes or makes a beeline. For real. My emotional body is it doesn't feel good, ladies and gentlemen.
Down there who aren't paying attention, who think, well, we could ride it out, and this is a life and death matter.
That's right, and the storm has increased size, so we really have a larger area that's going to be impacted by hurricane force winds.
Potentially the whole state.
Even as it comes in.
Yeah, there are 20 million people there. All right,
all over the place.
We're going to get back to you as well. Much more on the breaking news coming up as Florida braces for a direct hit by a catastrophic storm. We're tracking Hurricane Irma.
Of course, the storms generally draw a lot of energy from the warmer waters of whatever area they're over there, in this case the Atlantic and the Florida Straits. But that is the forecast, a strong Category 4 at 155 miles per hour, whipping the coast here.
Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love that you're sending to Florida. I could feel somebody with me. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for all of the prayers. We're collectively coming together. I got this video going to give people all over the world, if you have any type of energy, any type of connection, we could come together. You know what I mean? If you're Christian, Jesus said when 2 or 3 were gathered together. If you're more spiritual and free will, the more we come as non-duality and come together and pray. You know what I mean? And meditate and send love to these areas affected by this fucked up energy. Please. That's why this live stream is going. That's why this video is up. Please send love.
Northern part of Cuba. Moving to the west and northwest, you can see Saturday at 2 p.m. with 155 mile per hour winds. And briefly, the Hurricane Center has said in the Florida Straits, clear of that land, it could strengthen into a Category 5 hurricane. So what it has on the current forecast Sunday at 2 a.m. is a possible landfall on the Florida Keys as a Category 5 hurricane, which would be significant. We think back to 1935 and the Labor Day storm there. Sunday at 2 p.m. with 145 mile per hour winds around the Naples area. There's Fort Myers right here. So all of this track has shifted a little bit farther back to our west. Now you can see the Tampa Bay area highlighted here. If the storm would move generally in this fashion right here, the stronger winds would be just on the eastern side, which focuses Polk and Highlands, Hardee, and DeSoto counties, the counties that really got the worst of the wind in our area back in 2004, and then moving up to the north and eventually off to the northwest as a weaker system. So it's really Sunday throughout the day. You can see that's the Sunday 2 p.m. position. So later in the day, Sunday into Monday, we can expect the higher winds I was talking about with gust potential up to 100 miles per hour plus, especially in those inland counties. You can see why they've shifted this track back to the west. Hurricane Irma here, you can see that has come back to the west. This forecast track a couple of days ago was right here with the consensus of the models, but we said that likely would change, and it did, and that's been the trend for us, pushing it back toward.
Says it is the largest evacuation order he can remember. Many experienced the devastation from Hurricane Andrew, and they fear Irma will be even more catastrophic. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson spoke with some of those people, and he joins us live now from South Beach. Jeff?
Yeah, good evening, Jen. Beautiful South Beach is vacant
still in Florida,
tonight. No
Jeff?
sunbathers, no tourists out here. A little while ago, as a matter of fact, I saw people on the
a
beach
lady just jogging?
filling up sandbags with beach.
Was that a lady just jogging? Hey, man, maybe she knows something. Maybe she in the space that we all need to be in. You know what I mean?
And that's how desperate they've become as people prepare for Irma from South Beach to Homestead. Homestead is where Andrew came on shore and destroyed homes and lives. Luis Cayeto is helping his parents get ready.
Just got that all-important 5.
It's a big hurricane, carrier 5, so we don't know.
PM update on Hurricane Irma. Let's get right to our story.
Be prepared just in case.
His parents were not here for Andrew, but they know what happened in this neighborhood.
I know for sure everything went.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Way, but this house in particular, this area, it survived because most
Okay,
of
just
the
in terms
houses
of the
are
strong
made of
winds.
concrete.
Yeah, this.
Not far away at Lowe's, there is a long line for last-minute supplies.
We have some propane left, but you have to make the line. Okay?
Elio Monteroso.
And that's what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter what city you're in. If you're in the United States with this thing coming up the East Coast. And they say, you know, I don't want to talk them into existence, but they say that there's 3 more. So it's like a total of 4 hurricanes, 4 or 5 hurricanes that are forming right now, pointing at the U.S. I'm so freaking nervous I can barely talk. So, you know, get gas. Get gas. Fill up all the cars. Okay? Get lots of water and canned goods. Lots of water and canned goods. Now, you cannot listen to me. I'm telling you. You know how folk do. When the lights go out, be prepared. Go now. I don't care if you in Detroit. I'm in Detroit. If you in Chicago, no matter where you are, man, go get you some bags of potatoes. Potatoes go bad. Get you some canned food. Get you some canned food. And some water. If you got animals, go buy you about 4 or 5 bags of dog food. Get your gas. This shit is serious.
Was in Homestead for Andrew.
It was loud. It was kind of scary too, because everything hitting the school, and you can hear that, and people crying.
So getting ready for Irma is critical for him.
Actually, I'm more prepared this time than we were when we went to Andrew.
Yeah, we'll cross our fingers that they are all prepared. Luis and his family told me they prepare to ride out the storm here, as do many others, as a matter of fact. There are long lines for gas, so getting out at this point... I
told you about the gas.
...will not be easy for many. Jen?
Jeff.
All right, so group, I thank you for jumping on this one, watching this video, and if you decided to attach your love with my love and all of the prayers and all of the powerful positive energy that we can conjure collectively, and just send it that way. Just send it that way to dilute some of that negative energy coming. And it's coming. But we can, we're immortal. We know who we are. We know what we are. And we know why we're here. To love. I'll see you on the next video. Peace and love to you.